Hey traders, Michael from Elite Traders University here. Just looking at pound dollar again, and I think we're going low from this area. So I identified this zone of resistance, and I believe we're going to come down to these previous lows, and possibly even down to the pivot area. The other consideration is that we might make a quick run higher and then make our way down. So I'm actually short. I just got stopped out. I actually had an open position from the previous day. So this is the open of the day, and price came down and went back up. Stopped me out for about 11 pips, but I'm short again, and a couple of positions weren't stopped out. So as you can see, short from the very high there, and looking to come down about 30 pips. So we're about 3 hours before, or 4 hours before London Open, so it's the end of Asia. So interesting to see what sort of action we get, but I do believe we are going to reverse from this area. So again, our first option is the straight reversal like this, or the second option is that we might track a bit higher and then make our way down coming into the European Open. So either way, I'm short. I believe we're going lower, and let's see what happens. Okay, so looking back to where we shorted in this region here, and like I said, there was just two things this was going to do. It was either going to come straight down, or it was going to come up in the middle of Europe, the beginning of Europe, and then drop down to the pivot area, and that's exactly what we saw. So if we put in our session marker, we can see that this pop up was right at the beginning of Europe, and then we got a strong sell-off, and so that was a great short trade from up in the zone there. And I'm actually possibly looking to go long, but we'll see what happens. However, great trade from where we were. Entry was in here, and down to the pivot was about 30 pips, so a brilliant trade there. Okay, so here we are the next day, and this is the result. So our trade entry was up in this region here, and you remember I mentioned that I was looking for price to come up into that box, which it did, and then we get a nice entry. In fact, one of my students actually entered in this region here. This price started to come down, and from my entry to the low was about 60 pips. So I didn't trade this all the way down. I had some other commitments last night, but it was an amazing trade, and as you can see, we can actually learn to identify market turning points before they happen. So when we can do that, when we have the ability to identify those, it gives us incredibly small risk on our trade, with amazing high probability of a successful trade. And often when you can catch those turning points, you can actually end up buying or selling into a trend, whether it's the trend for a session, or the trend of an entire day, or the trend of even a week sometimes. So there's a turning point at the top there, and we actually sold the turning point and managed to sell down into this sell-off today. So get in touch with us, like the video, subscribe if you want to learn how to understand how to read the market, how to identify when the banks are trading. Then get in touch with me below. There's a link where we can talk about your trading journey and how we can assist you. We'd love to chat with you and see how we can take you to the next level in your trading. Okay guys, have an amazing weekend, and I'll catch you next week.